Welcome to Double Vision. We're your hosts,
Maddie
and Millie,
where we dive into the unique world of twin life. Double the trouble,
double the fun.
All right, everyone, happy Thursday and welcome back to Double Vision.
Yes, welcome. We hope the weather's beautiful wherever you are and that you're having a great week so far.
It's not 1,000 degrees where you are like it is here in Alabama.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's so hot, but hopefully soon we'll start feeling some cooler fall vibes. I don't think that will be the case, but hopefully,
Fingers crossed.
hopefully in the next month and a half to 2 months we'll start feeling a little chill in the air.
Hopefully so.
Today we're going to be talking about what it was like growing up as twins.
Yeah, so one question that we've gotten a few times from people who don't know us is if there's more of us or if it's just us. And it is just Maddie and I. We have no siblings. It's crazy to see people who have like multiple siblings who are like older or younger, like they're in the middle, because even though I'm 2 minutes older, like we don't know anything else other than just being the same age.
Yeah, like being literally the same.
Yeah.
Like I have friends who are the middle child, and to me, I think that they would be best friends with their older sibling and best friends with their younger sibling. And they're like, yeah, I'm not really close with my siblings. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's just like a foreign concept to me. Like, I just can't believe that.
Yeah, because we've always been like conjoined at the hip pretty much. So.
Yeah, and I think some people might think it's weird how close we are just because they're, in a different situation than us. But
like being a twin, like they just don't understand.
It's
the
a different,
closeness.
yeah. It's just different. You can't understand it unless you are
Unless
a
you're
twin.
in it, yeah, for sure. Especially identical twins.
Yeah.
Because even for fraternal twins, I've seen some and they're not close at all to their siblings. But with us, it's like we might not be the same per se, but we're still so close.
And I would even beg to say that Millie's super close with my husband and I'm super close with her husband too.
Yeah, it's just like a different relationship all around.
Yeah.
Everyone involved.
Some might think it's weird, but like she said, it's all we've ever known.
Yeah.
So to us, it's normal.
Yeah, and one thing too, growing up is, it's not that it was hard, but I know one thing that I'm sure we both can agree on is when people couldn't tell us apart, because you see us now with like the blonde hair and the brunette hair and the different ways we do our makeup and all of our mannerisms and such, but we were the exact same for years and years and years. And so
probably the first, like, what would you say, like 12, 13 years of our life?
At least, yeah. And even then when we tried to be different, like it didn't work.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I think we can both really, really agree on is that when people would address us as twin,
yeah, not a fun time.
no, it was not, because we tried so hard to have our different individual personalities while, like, I wouldn't say remaining the same, but we were always still so involved in the same things, but we still tried to individualize ourselves to where when people wouldn't take the time to learn who we are, like there would be people, even like older people especially, be like, well, I know I'm talking to one of you, as long as I call you twin, you should know who I'm talking to. And it's like, well, we don't, because I'm not on dance line, she's not a percussionist, and I'm not dating Dustin, and she's not with Julio. So there's like different things that really would just absolutely grind our gears about what we'd be doing, and people would just dismiss it as you're one of them, so you're both of them, essentially.
Yeah, it's just kind of rude too.
It is very rude.
Like, because we're like our own people. Like, she wouldn't know everything that I was doing, especially like in college.
For sure.
Like, she would have no idea what I was doing some days. We even always lived together up until after I moved out, after college. Like, we'd be, like, I'd be going to a party or something, or a mixer or something for band, and she would have no idea what I was doing, or she'd be going to study with her nursing friends or whatever, and I'd have no idea who they were.
Yeah.
And
right.
so, like, we had our own lives, and so when people would just assume that because they were talking to one of us that we would assume that the other one would know what they're talking about, it's just not, like, it's not okay. It's not the same thing.
And like, people truly did not mean anything by it. Like, there was no like malicious intent behind it, but still, it'd be like, almost having like a sibling that you like live in their shadow. And I'm not saying we lived in each other's shadows, but it's like a feeling almost that you were living in each other's shadow because people were just expecting you to know so much about the other while not caring at all about what you were actually the one that was doing.
Yeah, for sure.
It was so annoying. And like sometimes people would come up to me and think I was Maddie and start talking about stuff that she was involved in and stuff, and I'd have no idea what they were talking about.
Yes.
And when I tell them that, they'd get mad at me for not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm not her, so how do you expect me to know all of this and keep up with it? Because we, as close as we are and as similar as we are or have been at different times in our lives, like we're still two very different people. And that's like the whole point of why we started this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at a wedding 2 months ago in our hometown, which neither one of us have lived in since we graduated high school.
So 7 years now.
And this guy comes up to me. Meanwhile, I'm with my husband. He's my second shooter. He comes up to me. He's like, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "How do you not remember me?" And I was like, "Am I supposed to?" And my husband's just kind of looking at me like,
because he graduated way before us, so I know he doesn't have any idea who this person is.
My husband was a senior when I was a freshman in high school, so he's 3 years older than me. We weren't dating then, obviously, but he's 3 years older than me, so he's got no idea who this guy is. And I had no idea who he was. And I was like, "No, am I supposed to know who you are?" And he was like, "We were in band at the same time. Like, were you on the dance line or were you with me in percussion?" And I was like, "I was on the dance line, but I don't remember who you are. Like, I don't know who you are." And he was like, "Yeah, I can't believe you don't know who I am." And I was like,
"Sorry, what do you want from me?"
Yeah. Like, first of all, even if I did, like she said, that was 7 years ago. So even if we were in high school at the same time, there's a great chance that, like, you've just slipped my mind, because how much life have we lived since then?
Right.
And then, like, college happened, and I've lived in so many places since then. I mean, not really that many, but, like, I had a life in Auburn, and now I'm in Birmingham, so, like, I'm sorry, I just can't remember everybody. And then this person that I really never met,
You didn't know at all.
I texted her, and I was like, "Do you know this person?" And she was like, "No."
And then she's trying to explain who it is, having no idea who it is. And I'm just as confused at this point because I'm like, I'm sure it is someone that I knew. And I probably had a great relationship with them at that point. But at this point, I have no idea who that is because she doesn't know who it is and doesn't know how to explain it. So I guess we both come off rude at that point.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that people don't understand that we go through on like a daily basis.
Yes.
Because we are not the same person.
Yes,
So,
and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I do not want to come off rude. Like, that is never our intention.
Never.
But things like that have just happened so often that, like whenever she first met my mother-in-law, tell him that story.
So we did theater in high school, and we were in, it was the Lion King, right?
Yeah, it was the Lion
So his mother-in-law, or her mother-in-law, my bestie, basically.
I was about to say, she's basically in the family too.
Yeah. So her mother-in-law and his little brother, who, gosh, what grade would he have been at that point? Like seventh or eighth or something?
Probably 6 or 7.
So his younger brother, who's like almost 10 years younger than him,
Yeah.
They come up to me and start talking to me and saying they want to get a picture with me and all this. And I had no idea who they were. And as a 15, 16, maybe 17, 16-year-old girl, I was creeped out by it. And I didn't know what to do, so I just walked away. So I gave her some points at the start of her relationship with Dustin as being the greatest daughter-in-law that they could have had because she thought I was Maddie, but I hadn't met her yet at this point, so I had no idea who she was. And that is actually the situation I was thinking about when I started talking about some of this, so that's funny that you mentioned that.
It's just so crazy, and things like that. I mean, I'm sure there's been probably 50 other instances that have happened in between there.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't want to come off as rude. You don't mean to come off as rude, but, like, we live our own lives, we're our own people, so, like, it's happened, and if you're listening to this and that's ever happened to you, I'm so sorry. And
there's no way
to
you ever.
Yeah, one of us just probably got confused and we just didn't know.
That's the thing is, we're not trying to be hateful, we're just really confused.
Yeah.
So.
One thing about us is we're probably confused.
Yeah, So true.
We need to put that on merch.
Yeah, at some point maybe so.
Yeah.
Another question that we got a few times was, how were people able to tell us apart when we were younger? So Maddie, you tell them.
So I used to have a mole right here on my upper cheek that, gosh, how old was I? I was probably in 10th or 11th grade that I actually had removed from my face. Mainly because I was insecure about it and I thought it was ugly, and there was no issue with it. It was like very small. It wasn't like a huge beauty mark or anything that they like used to do like back in the day or anything. Like, it was small.
But it was distinct enough where if people knew about it, they could tell us apart.
Yeah, so some people could kind of figure it out that way. And then I also have this heart birthmark. You can't really tell now because I'm kind of tan, but I have a birthmark in the shape of a heart on my right hand. That's kind of really unique about me. But
We've had people pull at us to check our hands to see.
Yeah,
who's
especially
who.
when we were younger.
Yes.
And then of course the blonde hair.
Nowadays, yeah.
When I was in high school, I had like red hair. Fun fact, Millie actually used to be the blonde twin.
I did back in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. So for like 3-ish years, I had blonde hair.
And I used to have red hair for, gosh, a long time.
Probably 6 years, probably.
Yeah. As long as I've had blonde hair now, though.
Yeah, right, for sure.
But that's pretty much it. We've always just had different hair colors, and I haven't really ever been the one to wear glasses. That's kind of always been your thing.
Yeah, because I don't like contacts. I'll wear them for like special occasions and things like that, but if I can avoid it, I will, because I feel like after I wear them, my eyes get swollen. I don't know. Plus, I used to get pink eye from it a lot.
Millie, I've never had pink eye, and Millie's gotten it probably at least like, what, 10 times?
Probably. I got it so frequently in high school, all because I'd wear contacts.
Fun fact, I was actually able to get LASIK eye surgery 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And Millie was not able to get it because her eyes have still changed way too much. So I have LASIK and she doesn't. So I don't have to wear glasses or contacts.
Right.
I have an eye doctor appointment tomorrow, so they might tell me to get some glasses, but they tell me that every time, and I'm just like, no.
Well, good to know.
I'm just like, I'll just get my eyes tweaked here in a couple years.
There you go.
Yeah, but any other distinctions with you? I feel like I've always kind of been the one that they've been looking for things on me.
Well, I think too, we had different times when we were like really small where like mom would, I don't want to say like assign us colors, but like she'd buy us certain things in different colors.
Yeah.
With like certain patterns or sometimes certain colors. Like one of us like at Christmas would wear more red and the other would wear more green.
Yeah, that's true.
And when we were little, pink was my favorite color and purple was your favorite color.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Even in first grade when we first got glasses, we had the same Disney glasses with a little jasmine charm on them, but I had pink and you had purple.
Yeah.
So there were different ways like that you could tell us apart because we had different distinctions of like colors and things like that, which is kind of weird to think about now.
Yeah.
Kind of cute at the same time.
But then we got into band, and she was in percussion, and I was the trumpet player on dance line, and so then that was an easier way for people to tell us apart, especially like on the field and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because I'd be at the front
In a black
little
outfit.
thing, yeah, and then Maddie would be up there dancing and all that good stuff.
Dancing.
Yeah,
And
and
kicking.
and then in choir, she was a soprano and I was an alto, so there was
Yeah.
that too. But like we've always been involved, like especially when we were in high school, we had like the same group of friends. So like one person couldn't be friends with like a different group, like not that we couldn't, but we didn't want to. Like we were in the same group of people.
Well, it was
who
just
were-
natural for us to always have the same. Like we were always hanging around the same people. Like
because
I
we
had
were
my
playing in choir.
I had my dance line people. She had her drum line people. But like we were still like we would have our individual friends and would create a group out of that.
Yeah, like we meshed everyone together. Like if she was gonna have some of her friends over and I was gonna have some of my friends over, like everyone would come over and they'd be forced to be friends.
Yeah, everybody just became friends that way.
Yeah. Not saying that it was because of us, but it's because of us.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I mean, you can't. It's hard to be friends with one twin when you're that young. It's definitely easier now since we've kind of grown to do like different things since we're more like individualized now.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that started in college.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, because we're involved in different stuff and we live in different places. And
Yeah.
in college, it was definitely easier to not have the same group of friends.
Oh
just
yeah,
because,
for sure.
like, even though you did the, what was the thing called that you did
When?
in the band thing? You were like a manager,
Oh yeah.
and I was on the ballerina. So like, you had your manager friends, and I had my ballerina friends, and obviously they weren't really like the same.
Yeah. You can't really mesh. There's some groups that you can mesh together, but some you just can't.
Like high school is definitely easy too, but
For sure.
college is a little different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What?
I'm just waiting on you to go to the next thing.
Okay. What was your favorite memory from college?
From college?
Yeah, with our friends. With me. Oh, no, actually, you know what?
What?
You need to tell them about.
The story?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is a story from when we were in kindergarten, and let me just preface this with, I'm not saying that like the teachers that we had in kindergarten like changed the trajectory of our lives, but I definitely feel like who you get, it kind of
Oh, it 100%
takes you down
does.
a path, like a path.
Yeah, it does, for
So
sure.
I had a great kindergarten teacher because we were not in the same kindergarten class because our, I guess like the guidance counselor kind of person, I guess recommended to our mom that it would be better if we were in separate classes so we could kind of like focus and grow on our individuality,
Yeah,
probably.
not be so like independent on each other, which jokes
Or
on her.
dependent on each other and be more independent.
Yeah, she's a smart one.
That's because I had the better kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, jokes on that guidance counselor though, it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it really didn't.
Because we had the same teachers up until like high school, until you had to change classes after that.
And we still, I would say for the most part, still had most of the same teachers, except for like
time.
yeah, and sometimes like we might have had like a different science teacher or something like that. But
Yeah.
anyways, so back to the story. So for April Fool's Day, our mom was like, "How funny would it be if y'all swapped classes?" We were like, "Okay, let's do it. That's genius." And so I went to her class. She went to my class, and I think if I would have stayed in her teacher's class all day, we would have. I would have gotten off scot-free. Like
Yeah,
they
she
wouldn't have noticed.
wouldn't have noticed or anything.
But my teacher noticed that I wasn't the one and that it was her in there, because like even when like our classes, like our teachers did the same stuff at the same time for the most part, and even if they didn't, they'd find a way for us to still get to go and like do things together.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't you like sit in the wrong seat, or you weren't sure where the seat was or something like that, and the
Something
teacher
like that.
and my teacher like caught on to it.
Well, your teacher also had twins as her daughters.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Her daughter, she literally had twins, and she was like, "You're not Millie," and I was like, "Yes, I am." She's like, "You're not Millie," and I was like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "Go back to your classroom."
And so we got busted.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it weren't for her, my teacher, her teacher would have never known.
Yeah.
Ever. Would have never known. But she found out. So
Yeah.
we got busted. So
It's probably my fault, but it was partly me, but also like she had twins. So
yeah, she just knew. So I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, why didn't we try that again at some other point? But I feel like we tried to individualize ourselves so early on that it would have never worked after a while.
I
So-
agree. Okay, now tell them about the college.
Oh, I'm gonna let you tell that story.
Oh gosh. Okay, so when we were, was it our first or second week?
Our first.
We had just moved into the dorms for our first week of band camp at
Freshman year of college.
Jacksonville State. And keep in mind, me and Millie both are like calling our mom, we want to go home. We're not liking this. We're not
we
loving
hated
this.
it. We're miserable.
We want to go to Sneed. Like, we're not cut out for this.
Yeah, and we were waiting on our apartment to open up, so we had to stay in the dorms at JSU because we didn't live in the dorms at JSU.
Yeah, and we're in a co-ed dorm, so there's guys and girls in this dorm, which is, again,
We're already super uncomfortable.
we're uncomfortable being in a dorm because we're having to share a bathroom with all these people.
like communal bathrooms.
And then we're sharing it with guys and girls, which we're not sharing bathrooms with guys, but like still,
It's just weird for us.
it was just not what we signed up for. So we're waiting on our apartment, and Millie had broken her foot in the summer.
Well, I sprained it. I
Okay.
just sprained it.
She sprained it, but it's the same difference. So sprain can sometimes be worse than a break, and I feel like yours was.
Yeah, it was bad.
And so obviously when you have like a cast on your foot, you like can't get your foot wet or whatever, and you'll have to,
I was in a boot at that point.
Yeah.
I had just stopped wearing it.
Yeah, so she was getting better. She
Yeah,
was like
on the mend.
she was like right at the edge of recovery. And so we're both in the shower. I'm fixing to get in the shower, and she's in the shower, and all of a sudden you hear, and she's just crying.
And I'll be like, Maddie, I think I broke my foot. You're going to have to come in here and help me.
She has slipped in the shower and landed on her foot in the dorm bathroom. And so I have to throw my clothes back on really quick and literally pick her naked body up while the shower is running, and just get her up because she is not doing well.
Yeah, I was really struggling. I remember like the hurt from that so well.
And we were like super depressed. Like if there's ever been a time that I've been depressed, it was probably my first 2 months of college. Like,
Yeah,
it
like
was
just thinking back to that is terrible because we had other terrible experiences among that, like that goes way deeper than just this, but that's not part of the story. So.
Yeah, it'll be a story for another day.
For sure.
But like, we were already like wanting to go home. It was terrible. I'm pretty sure her mom had just like come visited us, or we were like trying to get her to come visit us or something. And then Millie goes and breaks her foot. Like, we've been fighting like cats and dogs in this dorm because it's like the tiniest little space.
We just were not doing well in that because also at that point we had our own rooms for 10 years at that point.
Yeah, it was just not good.
It was hard for us to adjust to being in twin beds back in the same room, which thank goodness we were together, but at the same time it was like we didn't think we were going to survive. It was terrible.
If you've ever lived in a dorm, how'd you do that?
Yeah, seriously, I don't understand. I could never.
I couldn't even do it with her,
Yeah.
much less a stranger.
Yeah.
So if you'd have done that, like, props to you. You are one of the strongest soldiers.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And then, mind you, this is the day before classes started too.
Oh yeah.
So I had a
Forgot about
choice that day to either skip all of band that was going on and go get my foot looked at, or just sit in pain. So I chose to sit in pain for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told I had to go to the doctor and get my foot checked on. So I did, and they were like, yeah, you broke it. I don't remember what I did to it because at that time I wasn't involved in anything medical. I kind of kicked myself for that because I'm like, what did I do to it?
Yeah.
But I had to wear cast because I broke my foot, and
Oh yeah, she had a little scooter. She had to scoot around campus on.
did
Literally until like December.
I would go back to the orthopedic doctor like I think it was like every 4 weeks or something, because he was like, it's a small piece, but on top of me having that sprain, I had like re-exacerbated like everything I had done to it.
Yeah.
So I wore the cast for, I don't know, like the 4 to 6 or 8 weeks, however long you're supposed to wear a cast. I wore it for, and then they were like, yeah, you're gonna have to wear a boot now. And I wore that boot for like the entire semester. So when people actually saw that I owned shoes for both of my feet, it was big, because people were like, what did you do? Because I had started band camp with a boot on,
Mm-hmm.
because I was, like I said, in that recovery healing stage of having a sprained foot. And then I go in one day and I don't have a boot on anymore. I have a cast on.
Yeah.
And then I go back to the boot. So that was...
College was a trip. We'll
It
have to
really
do
was.
a whole podcast on our college experience because
on like every year of college.
yeah, I would rate my college experience like probably like a 4 or 5
Yeah.
for the most part, maybe 6.
I'd say mine's anywhere from like a 6 to an 8, but it depends on like the year and the semester.
A fun fact about me is I did not want to go to JSU.
It's true. She still talks about how salty she is that she went to JSU.
I want to go to Auburn, but my mom did not let me, and I have a lot of feelings about that.
You do. Very strong feelings still. Which, I mean, let's just say, like...
I love being a ballerina at JSU. Like, I love that, and I made great friends. But I will not be sending my children to JSU.
Still so grateful to have received an education. But at the same time, I think there were definitely moments that we had that were much better than others while we were there. And like, I'm not saying it's a bad school because like a lot of people really
for sure not.
A lot of people have great experiences at JSU. But
Personally, I feel like my experience would have been better somewhere else.
I think that when you go to JSU, like there's a certain niche you kind of fit into to love it as much as most people do.
Yeah.
That our passions were just in other places.
I agree.
Which
It's a really great school for band.
yeah, for music and like teachers and things like that. For
If
sure.
you're studying those, and I did not study band, I'm not a teacher. I'm also not a nurse. I had a great professor though in the Family Consumer Science department though, who was incredible. And if I did not have her, then I really probably would not look back fondly on my JSU experience because she made everything probably worth it. She was
You hyped her
incredible.
up from the second that you started with her. What, your sophomore year?
Yeah, because I was like, I was originally a marketing major. Anyways, we'll do a whole deep dive into that
Yeah, let's do that.
another time. But yeah, I really wanted to go to Auburn.
Yeah.
Not that I would have. Who knows? I might not have liked Auburn either. But you know.
But can't take it back. That was 7 to 4 years ago now.
Yeah, which I do like JSU.
We're not anti-JSU. We're thankful for our experiences there.
And we did have a really nice house there.
We did. I loved that house.
The city itself is great.
So
Like, I really
great.
like the city.
So great. So, anyways,
We're gonna do our product of the week now. Is that what we called it?
our favorite things.
Yeah, our favorite thing of the week.
All right.
You'll have to count. For a second, I forgot what mine was.
All right. Hang on. Let me... All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, nice. Mine is Element, the hydration packets. These save me. Like, literally, I take these on weddings, and I didn't take them on the weddings that I threw up at. And when I say I threw up at, I threw up after the weddings. So if any of my brides see this, I was A-okay at your wedding. I was hot. I was okay. But these hydration packets are the best. I really like raspberry and watermelon. They're my favorite, and the orange is good. I don't like the citrus, salt, whatever. These are great. I just stick them in my Stanley, and they taste so good. I saw somebody put this in like a snowball. Yeah, like a snow cone.
Yeah.
Just like sprinkle on top. I feel like that sounds so good.
Yeah.
But if Element ever wants to partner with us, I would kiss you because I love these more than anything on earth
She
except
does.
for my dog and my husband.
Yeah.
Literally obsessed with these.
So my product is the Gimme Beauty hair tie dupes. I love the actual Gimme Beauty hair ties, but these are the best rung seamless hair ties. I guess is what they're
Are those
called.
ones that you got me?
Yes.
Yeah, I love them.
I got you these. I got Mom them,
They're
and I
incredible.
finally just got them for me. They're not that expensive. I think they're like $10, and you get like 50 or 100 or something like that.
They're great.
They're so good, and I am currently in the month four of postpartum. Currently 4 months postpartum.
Yeah.
So I'm losing hair like crazy right now. So I can't use something that's gonna get stuck in my hair and pull every hair on my head out because my shower drain has done that enough to me. I have fallen victim to the shower drain and the hairbrush. These help so much. These do not pull on my hair at all. I can take them out, and because I am postpartum, I am still losing hair, but it's like 1 or 2 hairs compared to the 5 to 10 that I would lose with just a normal elastic hair tie. So
I love those so much.
They
And
are
have a bunch
great.
of different colors for your hair type.
yeah, it's not just like normal colors either. Like they have the black, the blonde, the brunette, and then they have like all these different colors. So if you like to match them with your outfits, they have those too. So,
Okay, so our camera timed out, and that's my fault. But before we go, because we just wrapped it up, I wanted to let y'all know where you can find us. You can find us on Instagram at Double Vision W Maddie and Millie. You can find us on YouTube, Double Vision Maddie and Millie. And then you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Music. You can rate us on all of them. You can subscribe on YouTube and let us know what you want to see. We have a bunch of fun stuff in the works, but we want to make sure we're providing content that you all want to see.
and let us know what products you want us to review too.
Yes, if there's any product you want us to do, we can do an exclusive thing on YouTube, an exclusive review. And yeah, if there's anything else that y'all want us to do, just let us know. We'll be happy to do it.
All right.
We'll see y'all next week.
Happy Thursday.
Bye.